right, nice jam and nice shirt.
Thanks, thanks. Yes, I finally left the country.
Yeah.
Went to America. And this is the place for buying. It's the place for buying shirts like this.
That's why we get them on eBay. That's why you get these amazing shirts on eBay from, you know, the States. That's
indeed. So I was in Santa Barbara, and these things were all over the place.
Exactly.
So it's got some little dogs on it. And the most impressive thing that I found was it's actually a small. It's the best I've felt in a kind of clothes store for years and years and years. I'll take a selection in, go to the counter. No, I'll take the small. And then this time it's still big.
And walk out like this. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to Guitar Paradiso. My name is Pete.
And I'm Paul.
Right, Paul, so what are we looking at today then?
So we are looking at two amplifiers from Yamaha.
Okay.
So these amplifiers, or one of them's been out for a little while now.
Okay.
We have I'm playing through the Yamaha THR100H head.
Yeah.
So this is a dual channel amplifier.
Yeah.
And dual channel in that really it's two amplifiers in one.
Yeah.
So we have we have two channels, but it's not like switching from a clean sound to a dirty sound. It is like having two different amplifiers at the same time.
That's what I was.
So a lot of people use the dual amp setup. They'll have a clean amplifier and they'll have a dirty amplifier, or a mixture of the two.
Yeah.
THRH is that's what it does.
It's basically two amps in one box. So
absolutely. Yeah.
So I've got the THR100H head for head, and it's just a single one. So what that is basically two of those.
It is it's exactly two of those.
That's really clever, because a lot of people have got that sort of stereo setup, or that setup with two amps, and you've got running one clean signal and one a bit dirty signal, and you can switch between the amps and all sorts of stuff. Yeah. And actually the cab that Paul's got, it's a 2x12 Yamaha cab, and it's running out on the back. We can do a swoop over. It's got two outputs for the speakers, and it runs into the cab, and so you can run one 12 with one amp, and the other 12 with another amp.
Yeah,
blows my mind.
Absolutely. So I mean, so the benefits of having two amplifiers is that you just start to fill in all this different. Your guitar sounds massive because you've got all these different frequencies being filled by two amplifiers.
Yeah.
Like you say, you can A/B between them, or you could actually run two amps together at the same time. It's very rare these days that you see somebody playing a big venue with just an amplifier, really, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
The downsides of that is obviously it's really heavy. It's expensive to do that.
Yeah.
And it's really heavy to do that as well, to be carrying two amplifiers around.
Yeah.
So it's worth mentioning just how crazy light this amplifier is.
So they're not tubes. They're not tube amps, these, are they?
No, it's a solid state amplifier.
Yeah.
It has the tube amp modelling in there. Yamaha has spent a lot of time doing the component modelling, which is very popular these days from various different companies. So they model they model all the components of different amplifiers and the way that the way that those components are going to work and are going to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And the Yamaha also do a thing where they measure how the speaker interacts with the power stage as well.
All right.
So not only have you got each one of the two amplifier models that I have here, we have 5 different amp models on there, 5 different settings.
Okay.
And on the back of the amplifier, we have 5 different power amp tube combinations as well.
All right.
So you can really kind of get in there and personalize the amp to the way that you
and you
want,
can do you can, it's 2 separate amps, so you can basically do, I want those tubes for that amp, and I want these tubes for the other amp, and I want that for this and that for that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, so I could choose to have maybe a sort of more vintage British sound, you know, maybe something like the crunch sound.
Yeah.
So I could have crunch on the first channel.
Yeah.
And I could choose to run that with maybe EL84s or 6L6s, or modelling of those amps.
Yeah.
Run that into its own cabinet, which we have.
Yeah. And it's its own speaker on one side.
Its own speaker, sorry, yeah, absolutely. And then the other side, I could actually have a more modern sound and maybe use, I don't know, I'm going to say EL84s, which would be a bad example, but I could use EL84s, and I could choose to run that in Class A or Class AB as well.
Oh, wow.
So you've got really 2 different amplifiers with 2 different power stages, but again, all done in the sort of the in a modelling way. So you're not carrying around tubes, and this amp is so light. It feels like there's nothing inside the box.
But that is the, you know, that's the beauty of you know, all the new sort of modelling and whatever's happening. It's the amps and whatever inside doesn't weigh very much because you don't have to have the transformers in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can have a Class D power amp inside, and that's light as anything, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. So this amp is 100 watts.
Yeah.
If you're running 2 amps together, it's going to be 50 watts a side.
Okay.
So it's going to run like that. Each channel, if you want to maybe have a look closer on the front of the amp. So this is where we would choose the 5 different, either the 5 different amp sections.
Yeah.
We have a boost switch, which we can activate from the foot switch. So any of the 2 channels can actually have a boost on there as well, obviously for solos or just generally being loud.
So it's literally like an amp with a boost and another amp with a separate boost, so they both got a boost on each.
Yeah,
that's really
absolutely. So whichever sound you got, you're going to be able to
boost that.
You can boost that to the amount that you want. Obviously, separate EQ, separate presence control, separate reverb controls, and you got your volume controls on there as well. So the master on there will be sort of modelled to make it sound like an amplifier. It's loud, and then you control that with the volume. Yeah, with the volume section on the end. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just noticing there's 2 inputs on the amp there. Does that then mean that you can actually have 2 guitars plugged in, and then one guitar comes out one speaker and one guitar comes out the other speaker then?
Yes, it will mean that. And one of the reasons for that is that Yamaha are very keen to show that it is actually 2 different. It is 2 different amplifiers.
Yeah.
It is not a dual channel amplifier switch. It is 2 different amplifiers running there.
In the
different cabs, a couple of guitar players into there, or do the thing we talked about before, have just fill a lot of frequencies with a high gain sound and a clean sound, or some kind of variations of either one of those. Yeah.
It's very cool, man. It is very cool.
Sounds great. It sounds great as well.
It does sound great. So we go through some tones. So as the amps are the same, I think we just stay with one amp, apart from we jamming, because there's not really. What we'll do is we've also got, there's a DI out in the back, isn't there?
Yeah.
And we'll go through that in a minute. We'll get to that. This amp is plugged in DI, and we will have a listen to that in a minute.
Okay, so probably, in case I forget to say this, I will talk quickly about the DI there as well.
Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So the DI, with it being a modelling amp and not being a tube amp and all that, we have modern features like we can plug USB into a micro PC with this as well. So it means we can edit a lot of those different sounds as well. What it'll also do is on the DI, you can actually load impulse responses. So impulse responses very, very popular these days. Lots of third-party companies offering impulse responses, or you can do your own impulse responses. You can actually load those into the DI on the THR.
Well, so you've got this like an editor on your Mac or PC or whatever, and you plug that USB in, and then you start editing stuff up in there.
Absolutely, yeah. So if you're used to using a particular impulse response or a particular cabinet that you want to hear on that DI, you could load that into the amp with the editor, yeah. Which is pretty damn cool.
Getting so clever, all of this stuff, isn't it? It's getting this clever, and it's got a little mini jack socket on the back as well. I saw for plugging in your iPhone, or not your iPhone maybe anymore if you haven't got a jack plug. If you've got the iPhone 7.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Bluetooth. We talked about this with Lee at some point. So Bluetooth, a little Bluetooth adapter you stick into that, and then you're all sorted, no problem at all. Yeah. Anyway, let's hear some tones.
Okay, so should we just listen to one amp at a time first of all?
Let's go one at a time. So let's go to one amp, then start from solid state. Solid means solid state. So that's the first one.
It does, yeah. So that's a it's a solid state.
I'll put my
clean
guitar
sound,
down.
Plenty of headroom. You're not going to get any sort of crunch sound from that.
Okay.
Which is quite a desirable sound. I think what a lot of companies tend to focus on is all those crunch sounds and those high gain sounds. I mean, I know that you're a big fan of guys like Prince.
Yep.
And a lot of that sound, to be able to get that loud, clean sound that he got, I mean, he ran it in a bunch of different ways. It wasn't necessarily tube amp. He was DI'd, or he was plugged straight into a power amp section or something like that. You know, so having that kind of really clear, Nile Rodgers, but that's how example of that.
Exactly, that's how they did it, didn't it? That was the Neve 1073. Where you just literally plug straight into the desk, and then all of that a lot of the 80s stuff you hear is actually just a guitar straight in the DI. Whether you like that or not, it just had that sort of. There's a massive.
Yeah, a lot of players do that as well. I think John Frusciante from the Chili Peppers. I think the second album that he was on, I think that was all just DI'd straight into the desk.
It's just he left his amp somewhere. He couldn't. Where put my amps? I can't remember.
I think that was pre that. I think this is when he was just a young guy, and he just liked the sound of being plugged straight into the desk because it was just crystal clear, and and it wasn't being coloured by the amp or anything as well. So, not that I'm saying this, but lots of clean headroom basically.
We're rambling. We're rambling, and we should try it. So you're on channel 1 now. So that's input 1, channel 1. That's the top one. I'm going to move over here slightly, without falling over, so I can kind of reach. And then if I switch that down to there. So we're now just running one amp. So you'll only hear one side of this signal because we got and if I do that, then it's both amps, and if I do that, then it's the other amp. Okay, so we start on the solid.
Okay, yeah. So
let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Because that's a solid. So, and then move forward to the clean. See what happens there.
Okay, I'll play something very, very similar to that.
So you kind of have to. I'll put it on 12 every time we start.
Yeah.
So we know where we are. So I'll put it back onto 12 here.
Yeah. So clean from the manual is a warm, rounded American tone with breakup and incredible dynamics.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I memorised the whole manual before I came here this morning.
Nice.
Yeah.
Moving, I didn't do anything to the drum, everything on 12, so crunch.
Okay, so crunch is a low-powered, bright British tone with soft touch and chiming high end.
Oh, mellow.
Okay. Yeah,
and then a nice kind of mid-range there from your and lead.
I may as well read the next one out. Lead, medium gain, British tone with rich, controllable overdrive and great definition. Okay, cool. And it's worth bearing in mind, obviously, we have the switchable power amp tubes on the back there as well, on the models of the power amp tubes. So I think we're in 6L6 mode there, so all of these you've got variations.
Yeah, so what we'll do is, I think once we've done this, we'll go back to the clean, and then I'll stand up, I'll switch the tubes over, and then you can hear how that colours the sound as well. Let's have some lead.
Okay, I'm going to stick with the key. I'm in an A minor sort of. It's an A minor day to day, isn't it?
That's nice. The reverb is nice. I like the reverb as well.
It's a long reverb tail on that as well. It's quite dark as well, isn't it? But you can change all of that with the edit software.
With the edit software as well. Oh my good lord. We don't have the edit software, so if you want to check that out, go on the links below. Anyway, modern.
Okay, so this should be.
Yeah, cool. And I can imagine also maybe some like drop D kind of if you gain it up. Let's see how gainy it can go.
And let's go drop D as well. And then maybe use this sound to change the power tube model as well.
Oh, we can do that,
Like KT88s in there,
Let me
6L6s, EL84s.
Bless you. So actually, what we are in now is class A.
Okay.
And on the EL 34 we're on now, right?
Okay.
So
cool.
now I'm just.
So that's kind of a British sound. So for that kind of sound, we probably want KT88s.
Yeah. I think we need
this on class AB.
I'm gonna try to stick it on class AB while having this sound. So if you play a little bit, I'll switch it over. Okay, so you could hear I was switching between A and B there,
and that felt really different to play.
Okay, so
I'm not sure what you were doing. I can kind of guess because the Class A one really should sound a bit more punchy and a bit more attack.
Yeah.
And I could sense that. When but I could just see you doing this at the corner.
Yeah. So we'll annotate that on it. So let's go to AB and then start on the EL84s and then go to the 6L6, KT88, EL84s and 6V6, right? And you just keep playing the same thing. I'll switch while you play.
Okay.
That was a lot of a lot of choking. So
that was more downstrokes than I'm used to.
Hello. So what we did was there. So I went from EL84s to 6L6 to KT88 to EL84s to the 6V6.
Yeah.
Just sort of going through it.
Yeah.
I think just for reference, I think we need to go on the clean and kind of do the same thing.
Gotta take it home, man.
Exactly, take it home, baby. So that, just for reference, we did it all with clean as well. Run through these tubes, selection. So EL84s, 6L6, KT88, EL84s, and 6V6. In the beginning, I did Class A, and then I swapped down to Class B. Left it in Class AB. Sorry, Class AB. Left it in AB when I went through all the tube stages.
Yeah. So those switches there for both different amps.
Yeah.
So you really do have to think about this as being two different amplifiers together. So we've done the clean.
Yeah.
We've done the dirty.
Yeah. We're going to clean, we're going to dirty. What to do next?
Let's do both together.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah.
So it's two amps, so now it's like having a Y pedal. So it's like having an A-B box between two amps. So if we have now a Y pedal that runs in both amplifiers.
Yeah, exactly. So let's do that. So now, when you click it and it says 1 plus 2, that means it makes 3, but actually it only makes 2 amps at the same time, so... Anyway.
So they should just put that in the manual.
Yeah, put that in the manual. 1 plus 2 is not 3, kids. It's both amps together. So exactly 1 plus 2 is 2 amps at the same time. Anyway, so now what have we got? You've got the clean on one, and you've got a.
Sorry, I was just learning how to play guitar. I should have done that at home.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you had a long journey here. You should have had a little in the car there sitting. I've done that sometimes in traffic jams, and I've got a guitar in the back seat. Have you ever done that?
Don't think you're meant to do that. I don't think you're meant
when you're sitting in the traffic jam and nothing's happening on the M25 for like hours and hours, and you're like, got a guitar there, I'll just get the guitar and just start sitting there noodling.
Good plan.
With a little amp. It's probably not condoned. I
don't think we condone that.
No, but it's okay because I'm drinking beers at the same time, kids. So I'll probably drink wine, and I've got a special cup holder for a glass of wine in my car.
Have you?
Yeah.
It's a Danish cup.
It's like this one, and it holds it like that, so
nice.
You can hang it in there.
Nice Danish cup.
Yeah, exactly, it's a Danish car.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you got clean on channel 1, and then actually you just make a sound that we like. So you're gonna hear one side. It's gonna be so. Actually, if you've got headphones on, you can take one out, and then you can listen to the other one like that. We'll pan it completely out. So we do that.
Yeah.
So you can hear one side is that amp, and the other side. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, let's do that. We'll pan it. So.
Okay. So we want to build a sound.
Actually, just see what happens now, because one is crunch and one is lead. I can hear that immediately.
Oh yeah.
You can hear you got the clean coming through. Yeah. And you probably need to control the gain and the master of it, I can imagine.
Yeah. Okay. So do you want to dial it in, or should I dial it in?
Let's come up with.
Okay. So let's go for some extreme. So let's go for a modern sound, a crunch sound.
Let's go for some extreme. Hey, Nuno. No
more Nuno.
Yeah. No more words, please.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that is more than words, isn't it?
I see more of Nuno than I wanted to this week. That's what I was learning to play while you were talking. It's actually a track that I did for Seymour Duncan a couple of years ago.
Yes, I remember. Because I've seen the video.
As I was playing before, I was thinking I should try and remember what that riff is from that.
That's a great riff, man.
Thanks, man.
Awesome.
Thanks, man. So
yeah.
So that was two sounds.
So that was two sounds blended into one.
Should we hear them one at a time?
Let me go.
And then blend it together. Okay, so and that was that was obviously very quick. I haven't messed on with the power amp tube.
Yeah, nothing. So it's just what is set in the back. So
and let's. It sounds really big here in the room.
It sounds massive. So amp number 1. Okay. Amp number 2. Both amps together. Yeah, man. That's such a great sound, and you can do. This is a cool thing. I think is very cool. Is that you can have a dry, clean signal. So you can have one amp can be a completely dry with no reverb at all, and the other one can be like a reverb thing. I really like that.
Yeah,
that's the thing that I kind of like having a completely clean amp, and then one amp that is like wet.
Yeah.
Great. That's great actually. Wow, good. Well, this is a great idea. Well done.
Yeah. So so tons of stuff in there. Tons of things to play with.
Tons of stuff.
Tons of great features for live stuff. The boosts, being able to switch between a clean sound and a dirty sound. All those different power amp combinations as well.
Yeah, and you get
the edit software as well. And the fact that it is so light.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a light one, and you can just have it on the back of your bike. Whatever. Put it in the whatever and take it with you.
Is there even a Yamaha advert that is somebody
where he sticks it on a bicycle?
Not a bicycle.
A motorbike.
A motorbike, I think, yeah.
Of course there is, because they make motorbikes, don't they? But I saw one with a lawnmower or something, wasn't it? Or was it a... Do they make lawnmowers as well, Yamaha? I think they do, don't they? Yeah. Or they make something, or helicopters as well. Or something.
They make there's motorbikes and they make speedboat engines as well. They make a whole range of things. I think there was like Yamaha golf clubs and everything at one point, Anyway, a couple of years ago I went on a Yamaha trip to the south of France where I was doing some demo stuff, and they took us on a Yamaha speedboat. Man, it was scary.
Oh, okay.
People out, but it was scary as, especially as I was on my way to the airport and I had my phone and my passport and everything in the pockets, holding on to this like Yamaha speedboat. So
with white knuckles, like
guitars, amplifiers, speedboats. We should do the speedboat
motors. We should do a speedboat review soon. Let's make that happen. Let's make that happen. We want to do a motorbike / speedboat review.
I have some contacts in Yamaha. I'll see what we can do.
Awesome. Sorry, I would just like to mention also you get this. This is for the. For the little one, for the single head, and you get one with more switches on the other one, so you can switch, of course, between. So you probably get 6 knobs on there, I think, because it's 2 different amps, so you must get 6. We'll put one on the screen. We'll put one on the screen right now for you. Hear this? That's it here. Right, look at that. That's the one. Looks really cool with the how it's made. I like that. Good design. And I know Lee is a very big fan of the little THR100H head.
Another great sound. Great sound of the lamp. Yeah,
and if you want to
do great stuff. Yeah.
And what's his name? Philip Says does a video of that when he's just using that, sitting on a little milk box, and he's just got all his fuzz pedals plugged into it, and it sounds absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of guys use that. I mean, there was a Yngwie Malmsteen thing of him. There was a picture of Yngwie Malmsteen, whether he actually uses it or not, but there was a picture of him warming up backstage, I believe it was. So
fantastic.
Whether he uses it or whatever, but he was there and he was rocking out through it, and probably sounding like he had 10 Marshall stacks because it's in his hands.
Exactly, it is in his hands. Let's just quickly do my side here and the DI.
Yeah.
Because see what that sounds like. So this is the clean DI signal, and I'm just on a clean tone because they're going to sound the same. I've got a 112 here. It's going to sound the same. So that's just a nice clean sound. So that's what that sounds like. Really a little bit of boost from a T-Rex Mod Honey 2. And a little bit more drive. So that was just to quickly because we don't know what it sounds like, because it's the DI is going into our Apollo 8P, and
it sounds great in the room though. It sounds great with the Strat, and it sounds great with pedals.
Exactly, and it sounds great with humbuggers, and it sounds great with single coils, Strats, and pedals, and everything, as you could just hear. So, what's the guitar you're playing? Just really quick.
It is a Yamaha P20.
Oh,
it just arrived for me.
I know.
Maybe about just 5 minutes before the start of this video.
Yeah, literally when we sat down, there was a
for me to use.
Lovely.
So I haven't really even had a good look at it yet. But what we can say is it actually came out of the box freezing cold and perfectly in tune.
Yeah, that was quite impressive.
Until I got my hands on it and then bent all the notes out of it. Until I pulled all those notes out of tune. But yeah, Yamaha's Japanese made. It's a P20, one of the Revstar range.
Yeah.
I have been using the 820.
Yeah, nice guitar, man. Nice guitar. And I'm just using my Strat here. And I think we just need to say goodbye. And this was the Yamaha THR100H and HD, the double dual head and the cab matching. And this was Guitar Paradiso, and I'm Pete.
And I am Paul.
And we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Take care.